Now, let's turn our attention to Egypt because its foreign minister has been talking to the BBC, and he says that, hard though we try perhaps, that we at the BBC and the rest of the Western media are alienating Egyptians. Here's some of his conversation with the BBC's Frank Gardner.
There's no question Egyptians don't like Al Jazeera. There's no question about that. And the assumption we all have is that Qatar finances Al Jazeera. Our relations with Qatar are not where they should be as partners of the Arab world. So you can assume that the case there's baggage in the case that relate to the Jazeera situation in particular, but that's not going to cloud the eyes of the judges in making their verdict. I think it's a birthing pain of a new democracy, and let me tell you why. I accept the metaphor Arab Spring. I don't use it for many reasons. I accept it. It is the beginning of something much better. But you Westerners have a tendency to use your own terms to describe everything that's not yours, and then wonder why it doesn't fit when it doesn't fit. And occasionally you even ignore your own terms. Spring here in London is a turbulent season. You have the four seasons in one day. So spring anywhere in the world will obviously have its ups and downs, including politically.
Has Egypt lost the West as a friend?
No, I think the West should be cautious about losing Egypt. Not Egypt, but the Egyptian people. I don't think you have. I don't think the Egyptian people want that to be the case. But I think you need to work on it.
Number of interesting points being made by the Egypt foreign minister speaking to Frank Gardner. Well, the foreign minister was talking there about the case of various Al Jazeera journalists who are in custody. Well, we understand one of them is critically ill. Abdullah al-Shami has been on hunger strike for some time now, and we're told that he could slip into a coma in the next few days. Well, let's talk about some of those issues that the foreign minister was raising with Wael Abbas, a very well-known journalist and blogger, and he joins us live from Cairo. Well, do you agree that perhaps the West has sought to describe what's happening in Egypt in its own language, in its own terms, and so it shouldn't be surprised if what's happening in your country doesn't match that?
Well, it's funny that this kind of talk is coming from a foreign minister, but it's not weird because it's not really a representative of the Egyptian people. He's a foreign minister that has been appointed by a military coup, military junta, so it's normal that he is saying such things that can only be said by a minister from a fascist regime.
But his point is perhaps that expectations were raised too high, that everyone, Egyptians and the watching world, should have accepted that there would be ups and downs in your journey towards democracy.
We are not in a journey for democracy. We are under a military junta that is taking us to completely another direction. He is just defending the regime he is representing, so he is likely to say stuff like that about Western media and about the Egyptian people and about democracy.
And he seems to have a lot of faith in the judiciary treating Al Jazeera's journalists fairly. I'm guessing from what you've already said, perhaps you don't share that view.
Well, we have a judiciary system that has sentenced 500 people to death in one case, and then 700 people to death in another case. And it's sentencing children, it's sentencing people who are already dead to death. It's accusing a blind guy of sniping a police officer. So I should disagree, of course, with what he said.
I'm looking at your Twitter account now. You've got over 250,000 followers. I'm interested to know whether you ever have to be careful what you write, or do you have complete freedom to express yourself?
Well, I have the choice. I have to be careful with what I'm writing recently. I'm facing a court these days for something that I wrote on my Twitter account. It's not, we haven't held any sessions yet, but it's likely to happen very soon. So we are being monitored. What we are writing on Twitter, on Facebook, is being monitored by the government, and anybody can be taken to court for what they write.
Wael Abbas, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on Outside Source. That's Wael Abbas live with us from Cairo.
Live from BBC News, this is Outside Source with